Masvidal guitar, vocals.
Sean Reinert drums.
Okay. Thanks for doing the interview.
Thank you for having it.
Let's get on with the history of Cynic.
I guess November of '87 we formed and went through a few lineup changes. Had our original bass player and a friend singing, and then eventually got another guitar player, Jason, who's still in the band now. And Mark left the band, had our vocalist leave, and got Tony, and I took over the vocal position, and that's it now, four-piece.
Four-piece.
Since, I guess, '88.
Now, I understand a few of you are working with Death right now?
Yeah, us two are doing the Death record. Chuck hired us.
Human.
To do, which we'll be doing next month, I guess the end of April.
April 22nd.
And also Steve from Sadis is going to be doing it. We've been rehearsing here, as a matter of fact,
Nice.
for the past couple months. I have like 6 songs down. It's coming out really good. It should be a lot better than what Spiritual came out as. Should be, definitely will be a lot better.
But you're not breaking up Cynic to join Death or anything like that?
And
Continue.
now Tony, our bass player, also is going to be doing the Atheist LP. And might even go and do some shows with them in Europe, because we're probably going to be doing the Death European tour in September. We're hoping to do the Death record next month, then our record, and then go do the Death tour, and then hopefully come back. Our record will be out and do our tour or something, like if that goes on schedule.
Time permits.
How do you like working with Chuck?
I guess it's pretty laid back, you know, very casual. You know, we have a pretty non-stressed out relationship. You know, I guess all the other circumstances he's been in were, I guess, beyond the touring and all that, like, can change with members and stuff. And for us, it's always been just this laid back type of thing. So there's never any worries or any of that stuff that kind of can interfere with Chuck's emotional stuff, you know, because that can really affect him or whatever. It can affect anybody, I guess. But it's really easy, I suppose. You know, he's totally willing to accept our ideas, and you know, we're just, there's really no problems at all.
He doesn't have to worry about the position.
Very mellow. You know, yeah, he's got it really easy, having us help him out and stuff, because we're, you know, constantly giving him a lot of input as to where the older members, as I was told, you know, just didn't really do much except kind of play, you know, play along, you know, just do what Chuck would, what they were told. You know? And we're just trying to like throw in stuff and give him a lot of input, because he usually didn't have any. He's usually the band, so, and he's open to it, which is really cool.
That sounds cool. All right, can you describe your music to someone that's never seen Cynic before or heard you?
Spicy, aggressive. I wouldn't necessarily call it death metal, but the vocals are
just the vocals are the only thing that give it that like vein or something. But musically, we're just trying to be as original and far out as possible. Just like,
well, not for the sake of being far out.
Yeah, it's not.
That's
like
just your style.
We're satisfying what we would like to play.
Right.
Yeah.
What we want to hear.
How about lyrics? What do you write about?
It's been varying a lot lately. I used to write mostly about like personality figures and just people that I felt were disturbing in our society, people that would hinder the current progress or whatever of how this world works. But now it's seen from a different perspective, and it's more of a concerned cynicism or something, like a careful explaining, like, I don't know. But I'm exploring different things than just personalities and people, you know, just different aspects of just thought and
human nature.
Just exploring all kinds of stuff. There's so much to, you know, just to explore, I suppose, that people alone aren't enough. You know, there's a lot more to it than that. But yeah, I guess it varies. Most of the songs are on personality figures and stuff like that, and types of people, and trying to understand them, and like from a psychological perspective, and then it varies, I guess, per song. Just trying to place myself in that person's position and see why he would be that way, or why it would be necessary, what they're actually learning from that. But it varies, I guess, you know, because their newer songs are a lot different than that older stuff, lyrically.
Do you have much of a following down in this area?
I guess it was bigger before when we were playing like all opening acts, when we were doing the cameo shows and all that, and we were playing at a consistent level, whatever. But now it's
every other weekend. But
it's so off balance now, yeah, that we kind of haven't really gained a respectable following. I mean, we have our friends and whatever, but you know, as far as like, I guess it's kind of unpredictable too, because here, like, if you, depending on how well you fly or what weekend it is how well you'll be able to turn out what the show is going to be like, how, you know, how many people show, and that, I guess, determines your following. But here in like South Florida especially, it's so unpredictable. Like, you know, it can depend on like the weekend, or just the littlest circumstance will make a show packed or empty,
Yeah.
you know. And I guess it's kind of hard to tell whether we do or not, you know.
I don't think we do.
So what's the future? What's the future for Cynic? Where'd you like to go from this point?
Like I said, hopefully do the record, do the Death tour, come back, do a tour for us, and then hopefully, yeah, maybe move, go to Amsterdam or
That's a big change.
That would be nice, yeah.
or
Boston.
we'd like to attend and eventually go to school, like to where if we had the free time, like maybe between records or something, start going in semesters at a school of music in Boston or something, and pursue our musical interests, you know, besides the band. The band is, I guess, our creative release, but just on individual instruments, there's a lot more to work on, and schooling and stuff would be killer, you know. It's just as long as we have the time and it won't interfere with the band's aspect, because that's our career, that's the money coming in.
Yeah.
Not really, but
That's the money.
hopefully, you know, to where we'll be able to survive or something.
That would be cool.
Well, we're pausing for a second, Julie.
I guess it's very drastically over the years. Sean and I, you know, started in whatever, 80.
Only death, that's it.
Just,
only
you know,
only
like-
brutal music, that's it.
Like early, just the early days, Venom, Possessed, all that, you know, early Creator, Destruction, those were like the gods. And, you know, to a degree it still is, because that, you know, that past influence is there, you know, they were the originators. And then there's the contemporaries that we're still like inspired by to a degree because of how extreme they can be, you know, how much further they've taken that whole style, that whole genre. But now we're like just everything, you know, mostly jazz and fusion stuff, Holdsworth and Chick Corea, and
Tower,
then
Watchtower.
Watchtower, and, you know, lots of just technically based stuff, really
Zappa.
musical, Zappa. And then, you know, the contemporary stuff is killer too, like Atheist, and just brutal, really brutal stuff can be inspiring. Just to hear how sick people, you know, will go to express themselves, it can be really interesting at times. But yeah, I guess it's changed. It's really changed with how our music has changed also, our abilities musically, because we've, I guess, begun to understand the more technical forms of music, and it's become more interesting and entertaining. Therefore, we're listening to it more, as to where the other stuff is, you know, just not as entertaining because of the musical aspect of it all not being the main ingredient for us, you know, being entertaining musically.